So today I actually have a legitimate question. Is true damage just kind of done with? Well, the answer is no, but there are more heroes that are popping up left, right, and center that are setting more records, especially when we're talking about Dream Realm. The old school of always using Merrily and always using Thoran is kind of not there anymore. It kind of seems like you use one or the other, or sometimes even none, depending on the boss. And what I'm going to show you guys today is kind of crazy because a fan favorite in VALA might actually be making a comeback as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So there is a nice little thing when it comes to this new recommended formations, and that's where you're starting to see all sorts of different teams pop up all over the place. You can see a resurgence in the hero Kruger. You can see Merrily back on top. You can see heroes like Floribel making a comeback, and oddly enough, VALA is doing some good things against Snowstomper. Really weird to see, but you can see most of all the top teams are now using VALA, like almost every single one of them. None of them are using Thoran or anything like that. Some of the lower tier ones are using Scarlita and Odie, but I got my best score, 37 billion, with exactly this team right here. This squad has done magic for me. You're getting the additional damage from both these heroes. You're getting the armor rip from here, and you got 2 damage dealers. Kind of crazy to think. They're 811. Holy cow. 811. Jeez, we're 519. But we are also making a resurgence with Quick Blade Spell, basically giving us that physical defense rip. So we're kind of just getting rid of all the defense. On top of that, the season ability from Tamisha is of course increasing physical damage taken. The ability right here on Floribel is increasing the damage taken right here as well, and we are using a hero that we don't use often with Vala, and Vala's is interesting because it grants her more attack and crit for the first 8 seconds of battle. Besides that, it doesn't really do much of anything else. Merrily usually is still the hard carry here, but watch how this actually turns out. The good thing here is we have a lot of heroes that can heal as well. They have some self-sustain, like the Kruger, like the Tamisha. None of these heroes here really have amazing exclusive either. Most of them are at +5 or +10. I don't think anyone but Floribel might be +15. And I actually don't even know if Floribel, I don't even think I took Floribel to +15. But you can see here, we are pumping out a crazy high amount of damage. And Kruger is doing an amazing job front row tank, keeping himself alive. Beyond that, there's the summons from Floribel that act as semi like pseudo tanks as well, which is really cool. Now Floribel's still good even though she doesn't get her ultimate sprite out all the time. You can see right there he goes down, but you see we're making record numbers with this team, and I'm going to show you guys here right at the end, show you guys the scorecard. Vala pumping out damage. Honestly, out of everything here, Tamisha is almost like the weak link. And if we want to really break this down even more, we want to share this. Let everybody know what we got. We're actually what? Ranking wise, we're top 10 on our server, top 39. Snowstomper is usually one of the ones I don't do as well on. I do want to consider doing this though. Oh no, I don't want to use my team. I was doing some weird stuff on there. Don't look at that. We want to go with the main setup here, but what I want to try is without Tamisha, and I want to chuck in instead you. I want to do the swap on Merrily to make sure she stays alive longer, and we're getting that 25% damage bonus, which I think is better. Granted, Tamisha does damage while also buffing, but this will keep Merrily alive to the very end because there are some times where Merrily does go down. So this might make a difference here. Keeping her topped off, not worrying about her going down whatsoever. Just keeping her going the rest of the battle. Let's see if this makes a difference at all. I feel like Reiner could be a good pickup here. And Reiner, of course, has some healing because of his magic charms as well. So that could be a good thing. It could be, maybe, sorta. I do think the Floribel is one item that we just do not get rid of at this point because her summons just do so well in breaking those things so fast. It does look like our damage is going to suffer a little bit. We're about 2 billion short by not using that Tamisha. So Tamisha still plays a decent role, mainly because she is a buffer. And that is a big deal. Getting that additional damage buff is pretty solid. Again, don't look at what I was doing there. That is really, really bad. You can see the second closest is here without the Vala. I don't think anything's going to beat the Vala set, but again, my Vala is not exactly anything amazing. I think she's +5. Yeah, 2 stars, she's +5. This is by far going to be our best setup. The only other thing I could consider doing is running like Scarlita, but again, this seasonal ability is what's making her so useful. We're basically increasing the physical damage taken by adjacent enemies by 20%. And most everything here is being done physical. Granted, Marilee has a lot of all damage dealt. We could try running something like Scarlita and see if Scarlita could do it, because again, she does have that buff the last 40 seconds of battle, which is just under 50% of the battle. So we'll see how this turns out. She also has true damage, which might be good too. But again, we're kind of banking on more physical damage with this setup anyway. And I don't know if Scarlita can stay alive is the other problem. I know some people do run Scarlita. She does have that nice big hit, but yeah. See right there, Scarlita going down, which means I think we don't even get her season effect at this point. So, I mean, the go-to does seem to be Tamisha, mainly because she is a buffer and she can do a crazy amount of damage. The only other thing I could consider using, maybe, is like a Thoran. And I don't know if Thoran in this situation would be a better damage dealer. That's actually a hard one to figure out. Because again, we could link up with Marilee and keep Marilee alive. But I don't know if Thoran's going to do a good amount of damage. Man, I really wish the recommended formation would just pop into your team like immediately. That's the only other thing I want to try. Because, of course, Tamisha does do really good damage. It is a huge buff. But we could chuck Thoran in here instead. Maybe like this. Because you gotta remember, Thoran has two different buffs. Number one, the season ability is this as well. Increases damage taken by targets after dealing with normal attack up to 18. But I don't know. I feel like that doesn't stack considering we already have it over here. And, of course, we have another ability that stacks up the damage taken. I forget which one it is. His base one here? Yeah, he also makes the target receive 13% more damage for the rest of the battle. Let's just see what this kind of looks like. I don't know if this is something that could work, might work, maybe work. And I don't know if Floribel and Thoran, their abilities do synergize together. I feel like they probably don't. The only advantage here is we do have a tanky unit that can potentially keep our Marilee alive to the end of battle. So that's like a nice little bonus here. Let's see what the damage looks like. I feel like Thoran's probably not the play. It is keeping Marilee alive, which is good. We've got 27 seconds left. Oh, man. Oh, keep Marilee alive. Don't let her die. We're coming up to the last 10 seconds here. Yeah, it just feels like it's not that great of damage. It seems like Tamisha is just the play. It just simply is. And Vala doing some surprising damage. Like, I'm actually pleasantly surprised the amount of damage Vala is able to push out for this type of boss. So this definitely seems like the way to go. The other downside is I only have Quick Blade spell up to 22. There's other people that literally have it to like 24 and stuff like that, which is just absolutely crazy. But we'll do one last hit. Let's see if maybe we can get a new record just by getting a little lucky here. The fact that Vala is ranged means taking down those snowballs or snow banks, snowmen, I guess we'll call it, is really good. And Tamisha does run all over the battlefield pretty quickly, so kind of a nice thing to have. And she can kind of break stuff pretty quickly too. You can see we're already in the 30s right here already. And yeah, it just seems like hands down Tamisha, Kruger seem to be the go-to. The only one that I would consider maybe changing is maybe dropping the Kruger for something. We could try that. We could do one more battle just to see how this turns out. Maybe drop the Kruger for Thoran. Maybe that's something that could happen. Or, oh my gosh, I keep doing this every time. Or we could drop the Kruger for the Rainier like this. Maybe we could do something like this and see how this turns out. This could work because this again is a 25% damage bonus to all damage, which could be pretty big. And I don't know if that ends up being more than the armor ripping that we're getting from the Kruger. Beyond that, it's another ranged unit to help try to break those snowmen instead of having another melee run all the way over to the snowman to break it. Tamisha running far away is a negative, but let's see. Last time we were at 30 billion around the 27-second mark, and yeah, it's still just not enough damage. So running the Kruger is a huge amount of damage here, and it's mainly, I think, because we're running Vala. Vala really benefits from that physical defense reduction, and you see right here, just changing a hero back to Rainier is not going to cut it, not even close. So Kruger, Man, he's making a comeback. Remember we said Kruger would never be used again after we got this quick blade spell? Guess what? It is. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what teams you've been using, and I'll see you guys next time.